Alright guys, I'm going to show you how to take your intake manifold off. Some of you don't know how to do it, and there are videos on there, and I've watched them, and they're not very good. They don't go in depth, kind of like I do. So first thing you want to do is, before you disconnect your battery, you want to pull your fuel injection fuses out, and it's going to be 8 and 9 on your diagram, and they're two 15 amp fuses. You want to pull those both out and then start your car a couple times to kind of just get some fuel out of the fuel rail. That will just prevent that much more of a mess happening. And then once you do that, then you can undo your negative battery cable before you unplug any sensors, because you don't want the check engine light to come on, and you don't want it to run the risk of running like shit or whatever, and everything. So just follow those steps properly, and then it doesn't matter what you undo from this point forward, because anything that's on the intake manifold and on the throttle body is going to have to come off to change out your intake manifold. Or like if you're going to do what I'm doing, in my case, I'm going to put a spacer between my intake manifold and a spacer between my throttle body and intake manifold that I got from Bad News Racing. So I always kind of work my way over. So I undo the electrical connector at the throttle body, and then I undo the pipe, the intake or the intercooler pipe. Then I undo the boost pressure sensor connector. And then the interesting part is when you take the fuel rail off, because sometimes they stick, and if your clips are weak, if you're not careful pulling the fuel rail out and being patient, you'll pull the fuel injector out of the fuel rail, and then fuel will leak everywhere. Not a whole lot will leak out, but to eliminate a big mess, I always put a bunch of shop towels underneath that, so that fuel does come out. It's not getting all over everything. But yeah, it is kind of a messy job. And then you just undo everything that's a part of it. I'm going to try and keep this video short as I can, but you undo the vacuum line from your brake booster on your intake manifold. You unplug your map sensor connector. You unplug your vapor canister purse valve solenoid connector. Then you undo your connectors at your fuel injectors, and then you pull that off to the side and just set your fuel rail off to the side like I did. And then there's a connector. It's right here. This connects to a solenoid on this side of your intake manifold. You want to undo that, and then that'll free up that space. And then you can see these clips right here. You can access those from once you get the intake manifold off to undo the line that holds this electrical wire loom here. And then there's another one. Mine's broke, but there's another one that holds your heater hose to your water pump and as well. So that's that all comes off. Once you get all that off, then you take your 6 bolts out of your intake manifold, change your intake manifold or whatever you're doing, and that's basically reverse steps. Don't hook your battery up until all your sensors and shit are plugged in and everything like that, and you know for sure that everything is routed right and connected right. It's not hard to do. It's pretty easy. So I've done it plenty of times. So I got a new intake manifold gasket that I'll put on with this project. I got another throttle body gasket I'll put on. Here's the throttle body spacer I'm putting on, and then my intake manifold spacer right here from Bad News Racing. So that'd be nice to have, you know, that performance gain. But anyway, that's how you do it. Just the best advice I can give you to and be cautious of is pulling this out, because these clips are a pile of shit. I'm gonna have to get new ones. I just kind of manipulated the 2 that came off and I was leaking fuel out of just for now. I'm gonna order some now or today because I'm making this video, so hopefully that'll solve that problem. And I've taken off these bottom O-rings and I've actually cleaned them up and greased them. I use Vaseline, which actually works wonder because it doesn't, it's pretty, it's not really, the best stuff to use really, or what GM really recommends you use, but it resists moisture and stuff like that, and it's not going to mess with your fuel or anything like that, and it actually preserves your gaskets or your O-rings and seals. So but just be careful when you do it that you don't get it on the bottom side of the nozzle. If you do, just wipe it off, you'll be fine. But other than that, it's pretty easy, straightforward. Hopefully it helps. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching.